So hello everyone, my name is Becky with Scott Leroy Marketing, and today we are going to be doing our Build Your Social Media class. So I'm going to be going through how you will set up your social media accounts, how you can connect them with command, and then I'll also be providing some free resources that you can use to help get your social media game up there. So before we get started, a couple of things. First of all, if you have any questions as we go through, please drop them in the chat as you have your questions. Generally, for the sake of timing, I do have to save those questions for the end unless it is something that I can answer pretty quickly in the moment. I just want to be able to give you a thorough answer, especially if it's a more in-depth question. So for the sake of timing of our class and for the sake of being able to give you a full answer, I will try to save those questions for the end. I promise I am not ignoring you. If I don't answer your question right away, we'll just save some time at the end to make sure we can get through those. But just drop them in the chat as you have the questions so you don't have to try to remember your question at the end. So there's that. If you are watching this back on recording and you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to us via email. Our email is support@scottleroymarketing.com. I'm just going to drop that in the chat for everyone here with me live as well. Y'all are more than welcome to email us at that email address. If you have any questions or if you run into any snags with any of this, just feel free to reach out to us. We are always here to help out, and we'd be more than happy to answer any questions or help troubleshoot with you. So today's class recording will be available on our YouTube channel in about 24 hours. We do always aim for end of business day. However, sometimes some things get in the way or uploading speeds are a little slow, so maybe next day, but we do always aim for end of business day. Just dropped the link to our YouTube channel in the chat as well. It's just Scott Leroy Marketing on YouTube. When you are on our YouTube channel, we do always recommend that you look for our most recent videos. Things are always changing with command and with the services that we are offering here at Scott Leroy Marketing. So we just always recommend looking for the most recent videos. The easiest way to do that will be this videos tab right here. And the videos tab is just going to put those videos in reverse chronological order. In other words, the most recent video will be up at the top, and then they will get older the further down you scroll. So just something to pay attention to there. That's the easiest way. Today's class recording, again, will be right up here at the top since it'll be our most recent video once it's been uploaded. If you are looking for a specific video, then you can use this search bar right here. You do just always want to make sure you're being careful when you are using that search bar. These videos do not always pull up in order. This time it did, miraculously. But they do not always pull up in order. Sometimes you'll have the one from like 2 years ago will be up at the top, and then you'll have to scroll a little bit to find the most recent videos. That is based off of Google's, or well, Google, but YouTube's algorithms. So we are not able to control the order that those are pulled in to YouTube with the search bar. So just look at these dates right here and you will see, you'll be able to find the most recent video pretty easily that way. Alrighty, so without further ado, we are going to jump into today's class. So before we actually jump into setting up those accounts, the first thing we want to talk about are the different social media platforms that integrate with command. So there are 3 different ones: Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, or X. Those are the 3 we're going to be diving into today. Just because that is what integrates with command. You can run social post campaigns and paid ad campaigns through command to those platforms. You can't do paid ads on X or Twitter, but you can do it on Facebook and Instagram. And then KW also allows you to do Google ads, so paid ads through Google. However, those are run through a global account that KW has set up and not through your personal account. So we're not going to jump into that today since it doesn't really affect setting that up, because that doesn't really affect your paid ads or social posts or anything like that. So again, we'll jump into Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. This is a part 1 class. Our part 2 class would be paid ads and social post overview. You can find that on our YouTube channel. We have our archives there. You can also check out our training calendar, as we do have that, I believe, once a month as well. So you should be able to find either of those. Now, a couple things before we actually jump in. So a couple things we want to be focusing on as we're setting up our accounts. The biggest one is going to be brand recognition. You want to make sure that you are staying consistent with your branding across all of your profiles. It's going to make sure that you are easily found, easily recognizable. So you just want to make sure that you are staying consistent. You don't have to get stuck on branding when you're first getting started. It's okay to rebrand later on. Even, major companies rebrand occasionally. So, really the biggest thing to worry about when you're first getting started is just making sure that you are consistent across the board. Use the same headshot. If you have a logo you're using, use the same logo. Use the same email and phone number across the platforms so that it is easily recognizable. Use the same brand colors. So just making sure you're staying consistent in what you have across all of your profiles is going to make you more easily recognizable across all of the platforms. You'll want to explore your own social media accounts, act as if you're a consumer, just try searching for yourself, seeing what your profiles would look like to a consumer. If you have a friend that you trust to provide honest feedback on that, I'd loop them in as well and be like, hey, can you check out the platforms, see if everything looks consistent to you? Would you be able to tell that I'm the same person if you're looking me up on Facebook and Instagram? So just brand recognition is really just making sure that you're staying consistent and that you can be easily recognized. Again, don't get too caught up on the nitty gritties. You can rebrand later on if you create your own logo later on. If you just want to start out with your headshot so people can recognize your face, that is a great place to start. You can always rebrand later on, not a big problem. So also make sure that all of the links in your profiles work and are easy to access, and the content on them, is easily accessible and easy to read. So just a couple of things. So we're going to go ahead and jump into setting up those accounts now that we have a baseline for what we're going to be focusing on as we set them up. Again, just making sure we're staying consistent. So the first thing we're going to start with is Facebook. Now, if you do have a Facebook account, if you have a personal Facebook account, you can use that. If you have if you want to create a new personal account so that you can create the business page, you can do that. Generally, I would recommend using your own personal page to create the business page. That way you can invite your friends to view it. Anyone who finds your Facebook business page, more naturally, they find it by searching for you or anything like that. Anyone who stumbles across your business page isn't going to then have access to your personal page if you have them linked. You don't have to have them linked. Facebook is, I will say Facebook does generally only allow one account per person. I know some people have been able to create more than one. I have never been able to do that personally. So personally, it blocks me from creating any additional accounts. But if you're able to, by all means, feel free to if you want to. But it's just as easy to do it through your personal account. To create a new account, you'll just click create new account here. It'll ask for some of your information. You'll just fill it out and set it up. It'll walk you through the steps as you do it. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm just gonna sign in to the account that we already have here. I'll give it a second. There we go. So once we are signed in, this is just going to bring us to our personal Facebook account. Now, again, I mentioned a personal Facebook account. There is a such thing as a professional Facebook account. So professional Facebook accounts, for some reason, don't work the same way as a Facebook business page. In order to connect it to Command, you do have to have a Facebook business page, and so it has to be linked to a personal account. I do see someone asking, what do you mean rebrand? I really just mean if you decide you want to change your logo later on, you change, emails, you rename, maybe you create your own team. You can feel free to rebrand later on. Just make sure you're consistent, but then you can go in, change your logos, change color schemes or anything like that, as long as you change it across the board. That's what I mean by rebranding, is you can change your information later on as well. Just as you set it up once doesn't mean you have to keep it for forever. Anyway, so once you are in your Facebook, in order to create a new business page, you're going to click these 9 squares right here, and you're going to go down to pages right here. And then on the left-hand side, you would just click create page, and it's going to ask you to create a public page. That's the one you would want to do, is this public page right here. I'm not going to walk through the full setup. We're limited on how many pages we can have per account. We do have a tip video that walks you through how to do that. on our YouTube channel, so feel free to check that out. But again, you would just click create page and then public page and go through the steps to create it there. Once you have your page created, you're going to see the different pages that you manage right in here. So you can access the pages through here. So whichever one you want to edit, I'll just grab that top one real quick. And now once you're in here, you're going to be viewing this as a personal. So you'll be viewing this as if you were just a regular account visiting this page. So you don't have the access to change anything. You're just viewing it. So this is great for you to go ahead and review it and make sure everything looks right as it would to someone visiting your Facebook page. So you'll see it, that way. And we can go ahead and click switch now right here. And that's just going to switch us into the editing mode. So it'll actually have us acting as the page instead of as our personal account. So now this is going to bring us to our page to edit, and we can go in and start making changes here. All right, so a couple things we want to look at when we're editing. Again, making sure you have the same headshot across your profiles. So we can click on that one. We can say see profile picture or choose profile picture. So it can have any that we've already uploaded. We can go in and edit those, or we can upload a new photo right here. We can grab, let's go, sorry, let me find it. Hold on, maybe I can just drag it and drop it because I have it pulled up on my other screen. Oh, that didn't work. All right. You would just click upload photo and then you can upload it. I do actually just want to keep using this headshot, but if you were looking for one, you can just click upload photo right here and just select from your photos through here. So I'll go ahead and we'll keep that one. If you've already uploaded it, you can select it from here. Maybe we want to switch over to this white background and we want to zoom in a little. We can play around with that. Again, just keep in mind that this part will be public and this part will be public. So just however you want it in there, make sure it's probably a professional looking photo is going to be what you want. So I'll just go ahead and do that. It's going to take a second to load here. Not sure why it's going so slow. Anytime. There we go. So it did update for us here. So now we have that photo there. We can edit our name. You can click on it and you'll see the different information. It's not where I wanted to edit. We're just going to click this edit button to the right. And in here, you'll have the option to edit your biography. So biography is another thing that you'll want to make sure is consistent across your social media profiles. That one is a great way to just make sure you're staying consistent. I will say that Facebook allows for more characters than Instagram or X do. So I personally would go based off of the one with the lowest limit, which is going to be Instagram, 150 characters. So Facebook allows for 255. X allows for 200 or 160, and then Instagram allows for 150. So if you do not have a biography, you need help writing one, here's a great free resource for you. Just use AI. So ChatGPT is a great option. It's not perfect. AI has its flaws. But it's certainly a great resource that you can use. It's a good tool. So we can go ahead and ask, write a biography. Oops. For a real estate agent who has been in the business for, we'll say 3 years. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and go up to the front and write 150 characters. And you can highlight if there's anything else you want to include in there. You can make it, change the tone. You can say you want to make it funny or something like that, but we'll just go ahead and leave it like that. And then it's going to go ahead and pop up that for us. So that's a good option. We can just copy that response and then we can use it across our social media. So you'll just go in, we'll delete that, and we'll just add our biography in there. If you wanted to add, your location or anything like that into the biography, you can ask it to update that. I'm just going to go with this for now. Pin details, real estate agent, that is our page type. And that is, the different details here so we can select those. I'll show you that in just a second. So next, moving down the left-hand side, you'll see the category, and this is where we're seeing that on the intro where it shows the real estate agent. So we can go over to our category, we can edit that, and we can add different categories to our page. So real estate agent, real estate, just start typing and it should pop up. That you have that, I guess we can add that in there and we can save those. And those are the different categories we have. So again, in our intro, we can edit that and it'll show, I think, just the first one that we entered. Let's see here. Yeah, it looks like it has the first one we entered. So if you wanted it in a different order, you can just try editing. Yep, the first one is displayed on your page. So if you wanted to remove that and have this one show up first, you can do that. And we can do that and it would update up top. Now on the left-hand side as well, moving down, we have our personal details. So some of these we do want to include, like our location is going to be a good thing to include here. So we could say our city. Go ahead and enter that in and we'll save it. So again, remember this information is public. Maybe you don't want to include all of it. I'm not going to show that on my feed when I update it, just because I don't want to. But you can go in and edit any of this information if you want to. So hometown, status, family, gender, languages, favorite quotes, we can add that in if we want to. I'm just going to stick with location and I'm just going to keep moving down to details on the left-hand side. Details are going to be some other ones that we want to include in. So if we have ratings and reviews, if people have left them, we can turn that on to show them on our page and it would show our reviews automatically. I'm going to turn those off so that if anyone were to review it, it wouldn't pop up. Now you might want to leave that on. Ours is a demo account, so I don't want any, bots leaving reviews there. We haven't so far, but price range, we'll leave that blank since that one can vary. The address, one thing you'll want to note is in this, you don't usually want to include your home address on public profiles. So I would recommend using your market center's address here, or if you have an office building that you work out of, maybe it's a business center or you rent office space somewhere else, you can definitely add that address in here. But I would usually just recommend adding your market center address in here if you have that. I'm going to leave that blank. Hours, if you had your business address added in, you can add hours. Service areas, we can go in and add service areas through here. We already have Orlando, Florida on here, but we could just start searching. Let's see. We'll just add some additional areas around there. And then we can go in and save those, and those would appear as our service areas on our profiles. Diversity information, if you want that, founding date, you can add that in as well. Then moving down, we have our links. And this one is one that you do want to include is the links to your website. This is going to help with SEO or search engine optimization. If you have your website linked to your social media profiles and then have your social media profiles linked to your website. I'm going to show you how to do that with adding your link to your website. But if you're not sure where to find your KW website link, we're going to go over to command. I'm already signed in here and we're going to go to the websites applet right here. It's going to be the very bottom one on the left-hand side. And then once we're here, you can literally just hit this copy button right here and then go back over to your Facebook page, click the edit pencil, and you can add up to 10 different links. So we could go in and we can add a new link right here, which we already had right there, but we can remove that one. Yep, we'll remove that and then we'll save it. And you would be able to update the links on your website there. On the left-hand side, we have some other categories like communities. If you have favorite groups that you are a part of or you want to include, you can link those groups here or the communities here. Services, we can add specialties and services. So we can add, we can say real estate, we can add more specialty services. So we can add, let's see, maybe we specialize in military or relos or anything like that. We can go in and add those and we can save it. And then we'll see it pop up there. And any credentials you want to add, if you have additional certifications, you can link those there as well. On the left-hand side, we're going to skip through past the offers. If you want to add work experience, you can. So you can just go in and add all of this. And then down to contact information is where we can link our other social media. So if you wanted to add your Instagram so that people can go between the pages, you can here. There's another place that we're going to have to link our Instagram to our Facebook, but I'll show you that once we go set up our Instagram. Enter your phone number here. Just make sure, again, use the same phone number. If you have a business phone number you like to use, just add that here. Your email address. If you use Messenger, WhatsApp, have a media kit. Let me go back and save those changes. Go back and save. There we go. And then privacy and legal information. We can pull that up if we have a privacy policy link that we need to add. And then names. So if we needed to add our name pronunciation here, we could. And then also if we had additional names, maybe nicknames or anything like that, it would also help people find us on Facebook if they were looking for us by our nickname. So that would be a great thing. So once you go through and save all of that information, so that's going to all update your business page right here. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to look at so we can customize our link here. So we'll go back to, let me go here. There we go. So if you look up at the top, you'll see this link up here. So this is the link to our Facebook. So it'll be facebook.com. And then this last part is going to be, this is going to be our username is what it's called. So you can change that if you want to, if you need to make changes to that. We're actually going to go to our settings on the left-hand side. So we're going to go down here to settings. And then in here, we're going to go down to page details. Oh, wrong button, sorry. We have settings. Page setup is where we need to go. We'll scroll down a little bit to find page setup. Here we can change the name of our business page if we need to, but we can also change the username. So we would just click edit right here. If we wanted to change the link, we can do that. Enter that in, save the changes, and then it would update our username here. I'm going to leave our username as is just because I actually like that one. And that way we don't have to go through the verification process there. Just to skip over that part. But then once you have that, we can use that same link to add it to our marketing profile so that we can, we'll go home real quick. Let's go pull up our page. There we go. So we can copy that, and then we're going to go back over to our command. And while we're in here, we want to add our social media links. So we're still in the websites applet. So just click websites, and then we're going to click manage settings. Then we're going to go down to the social section right here. And under Facebook, we're just going to go ahead and add that link. We already had it there, but you would just copy and paste it here. And then we'll save it as we add those links. And now when we pull up our website, which I'll show you, and we'll go ahead and we'll launch our website real quick so you can see. Now, once you're on your website, you'll see in the top right corner, you have X, you have Facebook and Instagram. We've already added those links, which is why you're seeing those. But if anyone were to click on Facebook, it would take them directly to your page. Also, under your About Me page, you're going to see those right here, and it'll have those same links so that people can find your X, your Facebook, or your Instagram directly through here. If you wanted to add links to your, if you have a YouTube channel or LinkedIn, you want to link those, you can add those in here. We're not covering those since they're not really used for social posts or paid ads in command. But if you did want to link those profiles, you absolutely can. All right, so we're going to go back over to Facebook. Now, one last thing we want to look at on Facebook here is to be able to invite people to follow our page. So this is one of the perks of creating your page linked to your personal account. Again, people aren't going to be able to necessarily find your personal account through your business page. They'll look separate if someone finds your business page first. They're not just automatically going to be following you personally. So it will keep those separate. I get questions about that pretty much every time. So I wanted to clarify that one. But we're actually going to switch back over to our personal account to be viewing this. So we're going to switch back to our personal account. Just click your headshot in the top right corner. And now we're going to go back to viewing our pages. And then we're just going to click our page here. So again, now we are switched back to our personal account viewing our business page. And in here, you're going to click these three dots in the bottom right corner, and you can click invite friends. That's going to allow you to go in and invite your friends to follow and like your page. So again, that's why you would want to do it through your personal account so that you can reach out to your friends. Now, there is a limit on how many friends can be invited at a certain time. I think it's like 300, although they have changed it a couple of times. I believe last I heard it was you could invite 300 friends at a time. So if you have more than that, you would just have to wait for some of those invitations to be accepted or rejected, and then you would be able to invite more people. So once you've invited them, you can have 300 pending, I think it's 300 still, 300 pending invitations at a time. And then you would just, again, keep going through your friends list to invite them individually in batches. So, all right, that's it for Facebook for right now. We'll come back to Facebook in a minute. The next one we want to look at is our Instagram. Instagram, we do have to have a business page, but you can transfer your personal page into a business page. I'll show you that in a second. Instagram does not have the same limitations as Facebook. You can have multiple Instagram accounts. So if you want to create an Instagram account separate from your personal, I would recommend doing that. In fact, I do see a question while I'm still not fully into Instagram. We'll go ahead and look at that. Question about inviting friends. You can search by individual friends. This one is a demo account, so it doesn't show, we don't have any friends linked to our account. But it would just go ahead and populate your friends, but you can search for individual friends if you have certain ones that you want to invite. But otherwise, it should just start populating your friends right here, even if you don't search. Because it would just be sorted by not invited, friends that you've selected, or that have been invited already and have pending invites. All right, over to Instagram real quick. So when we're here, you can create a new account. Again, you would just click create new account. So you just create new account, enter your information through here. So your phone number and email that you want to have it linked to, password, birthday, name, username, and then you would say submit. I'm going to go ahead and sign into an account that we already have, but that's pretty simple. Just go in and create a new account, fill out that form, and I should go ahead and add it. So we're going to sign in to our account here. Let me ask for my logins here. Oh, there we go. So when you are in your account here, a couple things we want to look at. So to make it a business account, this one is currently a personal account so that I can show you how to do it. On the left-hand side, you are just going to click more right here. And then you're going to go to settings. In your settings, you are going to scroll down on the left-hand side until you get, let's see, I think I just scrolled past it. Oh, let's find it. Oh, no, it's further down. So if you scroll down to the For Professionals section, you'll see account type and tools, and you'll just click switch to a professional account. So in there, you're going to go ahead and you will say you're a creator or business. I'll say business. So we'll go ahead and do next. Now with Instagram, it does have to be a business page, or it does have to be a business account. Facebook has to be a business page. So just see a question about that. Well, we can talk about that a little bit more at the end. I just wanted to go ahead and answer that one a little bit. But it does have to be a business page, and we'll show you that in a little bit. But we'll go through and we'll say next right here, and then we'll select a category. We probably want to show that category on our profile, so we can say real estate. And we can select real estate agent or just real estate. Go ahead and say real estate agent and click done, and then it's going to ask if we want to switch to a professional account, and we will say continue. From there, we'll add our contact information. So we can choose to show that contact information on your profile. To add your information, you do have to start adding your contact information for it to allow you to show it on your profile. So your email, phone number, again, street address. Again, this is your public business information. So you want to use, your market center's address, your business phone number, the email you're using for your business, whether that's your KW email or you have another email you prefer to use for your business. You would want to enter that in. We can also say, don't use my contact information to skip past that. And then it's going to tell us our business account is ready, and we'll just click done. So now we have a professional account. I'm going to switch over to our profile here. And you can see it did include our information right here. So it has the category we're in, which is real estate agent. But we can go ahead, while we are in here, we're going to look at how to edit our profile. So we'll go ahead and click edit profile right here. We can change the photo on our account. So again, we can upload a photo. We can just go ahead and remove that current photo. And it would be the same with Facebook where you upload it, it'll pull up your files automatically and you can select them. I'm going to leave that photo right there. One thing I will point out is Instagram was created to be used as a mobile app. So originally it was created as a mobile app and then it was expanded to websites. Facebook was the opposite, was created to be used on the web browser, and then it was, expanded into an app. But with Instagram, currently they don't have an option to add your website URL on the web browser. So you would have to do this through your Instagram app on your phone in order to link your website here. That's probably the main thing right there that it won't allow you to do. So you would just want to make sure you add your website just through the app so that you can have those linked. Again, great for SEO. And then we have our biography right here. I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to grab that same one we had ChatGPT write for us. I'm going to copy that. We'll come back over to Instagram and enter that in. And then we can add gender. If we want to show account suggestions, we can do that. And we'll go ahead and submit it right there. And then it saved our profiles for us. So we go back and look at our profile, we'll see that it was, well, it should have updated. We'll refresh that. There we go. So it updated our biography there for us. And we could, have updated our headshot there. Now, one last thing we want to look at, similar to Facebook, when you have your link right here, it has your username up at the top. So again, this is your username. Now we can edit that just like we did on Facebook. We're going to click the More tab right here. We're going to go to Settings. And under Settings, we're going to go ahead and go to the Accounts Center right here. We'll click on that. And then we'll click on our Instagram page right here. Click on that. You'll see your name, so you can edit your name of your page. You can only change that twice in 14 days, so make sure it's the name you want to keep for 14 days. Your username right here, you can change that. So we can update that. It'll let us know if it's available. We'll take a second here. There we go. So updates. So if we were to go back to our Instagram page, go back. Now we can click on our profile here. There we go. Now it has our updated username. So we can copy that and we can take that over to our command. We can update that right here. And then we'll save it. So now it'll link properly to our website there. All right. So now one last thing to do between Instagram and Facebook before we actually look at linking them to our command to be able to schedule, social post campaigns and paid ads. The next thing we want to do is your Instagram business page has to be linked to your Facebook business page in order to link it to command. So we have to link the two together. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to go over to our Facebook right here. And we already had our page pulled up. If you need to pull up your page, just click those 9 squares and then click pages and then click the page you want to link. So we'll go ahead and go in here. So we do have to switch over to our managing account. So we can click switch now. So we have to switch into our page manager. And then on the left-hand side, we're going to click settings. And then we're going to scroll down a little bit and you should find linked accounts under permissions. And then you'll see your Instagram right here. So we'll go ahead and we'll connect our Instagram. Click connect, continue. And then it's going to ask us to log into our Instagram. Take a second, go ahead and hit continue. Takes a second. Ours can be a little bit slow, especially since we link it and unlink it for classes regularly. So there we go. It connected it. So we'll go ahead and say done. So now those accounts are connected. And so that will allow us to link it to our command. So I'm going to show you, I'll show you how to link all of them at the same time. So we're going to switch over next to Twitter or X. So in here, same thing, you can sign up using Google, sign up using Apple, or you can create a new account right here. You would just click create account. Again, fill out with your name, phone number, date of birth. We'll go ahead and we'll sign into an account we already have here. Let me grab these logins real quick. And go ahead, hit next. We'll go ahead and enter that in as well. There we go. So now it is loaded in here. So we are in our not Facebook. We're in our X account here. So we're going to switch over to our profile here. So we're just going to click profile on the left-hand side so we can see our profile. Now with X, you do not have to have a professional account. You do not have to have it as a business page. You can just have a regular X account. It doesn't have to be premium, pro, or anything like that. So simple, easy, but we can edit our profile much the same way as we would before. So we'll click edit profile up here. We can change our headshot that we have. We can change our cover photo. We're going to circle back to cover photos in a minute because I just realized I didn't show you that on Facebook. But we can edit those cover photos here. So we would just be able to go in there. We can edit the name, the biography. Again, we're just going to grab the same one. So we have consistency. We'll grab our biography here and we'll enter that in. And then we have that. We can add our location. Again, you'll want to make sure you're linking your website to your page here. You can enter that. You can switch it to professional. Again, you don't have to though. So we're just going to leave it as is and we will click save on here. Now up at the top, again, you'll see x.com and then you'll see your username. So again, we can change that if we need to. On this one, we're just going to click more on the left-hand side and we're going to click settings and privacy. I'm going to click your account and then it's going to be under account information. You'll have to verify your password real quick. Go ahead and do that, confirm it. And then we'll have access to change our username. So we can go in and change that. We'll go in and save it. There we go. So now that is updated, we can go in and update our phone number, email address, anything through there. But now we can go back to our profile, grab that updated link, go back to our command. We'll just, repeat the process. And then we'll click save and it'll update that on our website. Alrighty, so those are our accounts in here. That's the basic setup. Now I did mention changing our cover photos because I did not cover that before. Sorry about that. So we're going to go back out to our page here and we can just click edit cover photo. We can choose a cover photo, upload a new photo, reposition this one, or remove it entirely. So we'll go ahead and remove it. And then we could add a new one. Here is where we have some free resources to recommend. So you can use stock photos for these. So pexels.com. I'm going to drop these links in the chat as well as we talk about them. So you have pexels.com. It's a great royalty-free media site. You can search here for free photos. Same with unsplash.com, also going to be a royalty-free media, as well as pixabay.com. So we'll look at those. They're all going to be fairly similar, but they may pull in different content. So if it's worth looking across the 3 different ones because people upload, the photos for free to these different platforms, whichever they choose. But you can search for free photos. So we can say real estate transaction. You can say, let's try real estate cover photo. We'll see if that'll work. Oh, there we go. Look at that. Pulled in some. Now I personally don't want to add someone else's image here. So you can go ahead and you could say real estate transaction. And you can see something like this. And then you can just click download next to the one you want to use. Let's see if they have some other options in here. That one is portrait. Let's see here. that we can filter by horizontal. I'm going to filter by horizontal there. That way they'll fit. There we go. So it'll fit better into our cover photo, but we'll go through. I'm just going to go with this one. We're just going to click download next to the picture. It'll download the picture right here that we can then use for free. It's going to be the same process on Unsplash or Pixabay. You can go through and find different ones that you want to use. But then we can go back over to our Facebook. We can add a cover photo. Let's see here. Let's go ahead and upload one. And then we'll just grab the one we just downloaded. We'll select that. And there we go. So we can drag this around so it can be positioned how we want it. We'll go ahead and save changes. And then we can go over, do the same thing with our X account, edit profile. And we'll go ahead and add a new image, grab that one. We can crop it however we want, so we can zoom in more if we need to, or we can leave it. I'm just going to go ahead and apply it like that. Centered it pretty well. And we'll see that updated. So again, that just kind of helps with our brand consistency to make sure it's the same across the board. Instagram doesn't have a cover photo, so those two would just apply to Facebook and X. So there we go. Now that we've covered that, setting up our profiles here, we'll walk through how to set up connect those accounts to Command for post scheduling and then also for paid ads. So for your post scheduling, we're going to go over to Command. I'm going to go back to my Command home, so we're starting in a familiar place. And then we're going to click our name in the top right corner, and we're going to click Settings. Now, under Settings, you can scroll down to this social section right here. If you already have accounts connected, they'll be up at the top under Connected Apps, but we can scroll down to Social, and then we'll just click Connect next to them. It's going to ask us to, make sure we're signed in. We want to continue. And then it's going to choose what pages we can load. So if we want to connect both pages, we can, or we can just connect the individual pages. We'll just click Connect. And you'll see that pops up to your connected apps here. Same with Instagram. Again, it's going to go through your Facebook, which is why we had to connect our Instagram business page to our Facebook business page. So we'll go ahead and continue. It's going to ask if we want to connect this Instagram. We'll say connect. And then with Twitter or X, you can connect your X through here. It's going to pop up. Authorize it. Go ahead and connect it here. And there we go. So now we have all of those connected. So we can go in and create social post campaigns. Again, we have a second class that goes through that. So it's paid ads and social post campaigns is the name of the class. So to connect your accounts for paid ads, it is separate. So in your settings, that is just for where we just were, that is just for your social post campaigns. Now for your paid ad campaigns, you're just going to click campaigns on the left-hand side. And then we can just click quick start right here under your paid ads. If it automatically pulls you to the dashboard, just click that paid ads tab and then click quick start. And then on the left-hand side, we're going to click assets and Facebook pages. And then we can just click add Facebook page, continue with Facebook. Now, when you connect your Facebook, you don't have to connect Facebook and Instagram separately. As long as you have your Instagram connected to your Facebook, it's going to pull both in when you connect that. So we'll go ahead and we'll say reconnect. We're going to pull it in. So it will show, we can choose the business page. We'll click next. And then our paid ads would be linked with that page. There we go. It did also link our Instagram. It doesn't show it. It will show when you actually go in to create the paid ads. You'll see that it's connected to your Instagram, but you just have to connect it once through there. So that's how you would connect your accounts for there. Now, one other thing we want to look at is how to create content for your posts and ads. Again, royalty-free media sites are great. Pexels, Pixabay, Unsplash. So we have those. I'm going to close those just because we have a bunch of tabs open here. Another option for you to be able to use is our website. So scottleroymarketing.com. I'm going to drop that in the chat for you. You'll see a button that says log in where mine currently says log out. You'll just enter your market center number and that'll give you access. Under agent resources, down under marketing support, scroll down a bit. You're going to see two different things. So we have agent concierge. Actually, you'll see three different things. And we have our agent concierge, and that is where we can create marketing for you for listings. So if you have an active listing, you can go to the agent concierge and we can go in and create it. You'll just provide the information, choose the designs you want. We'll get that created for you. Let's see here. Marketing support. We also have monthly social content. This is something we just put out for the month of April. So we just started doing in the month of April, should I say. So we can click monthly social content and it will have our April social content that we can use through here. So in here, it has captions you can go ahead and copy and paste. So it has it broken down by day of the month. And then you can also click here for the collateral. So we'll just click on that. And you do need to make sure you are signed into your KW Canva account. If you're not familiar with that, it's just canva.kw.com. You'll sign in with the same logins you use for command. But we'll go ahead and we'll click view template. It's going to make sure we're pulling it up in our pro account. We'll open it in editor there. And then you have the graphics for each day of the month. You can edit them if there's something you want to tweak about it. But it has it by day of the month here, and those go with the captions back on our page. So we're super excited to be introducing this month. So definitely can use this. You don't have to use each of these on the days that they have here, but they do go with the captions on our page. So if you're using it on a different day of the month, just make sure you grab the same caption that goes with it. But those are some great options here. While we are in our KW Canva accounts, that is another great option here. They have a bunch of templates. So there are the Canva Pro templates that you have access to that aren't necessarily real estate specific. You can also go to brand here and go to brand templates. They now have the option to create your own brand kits. So we can create that. We have a tip video we just put out this morning for that. We can go to the core brand kit that's going to bring in your KW templates. So we'll go all brand templates up at the top. And then you can search through here if you have, Instagram, you want Instagram post, we can say social post. Let's see here. We can search for that. And you'll see, real estate market, social posts, for sale social posts. So these are all templates that you can definitely use. Some great free resources for you here. Also going back to the SLM website, we're just going to go back here. One last thing I meant to mention while you're on the website is we also have other templates available, also marketing support. Just go to templates here. And then you can select the different types we have. So we have KW Classic, Luxury, Modern, Black and White. So you can use any or all of them. We can go in, we'll just grab the KW Classic just for today. And then scrolling down, you're going to see we have some social media designs, agent carousels and reels if you want to use those. We have a bunch of options you can use. And then we can just click use in Canva. You can scroll through, make sure it has, it looks like what you want. You can go ahead and view your template, open an editor, and then you can start making changes to it through there as well. So those are some of those great options. One last thing while we're still on the content options, if you go back to command and you go to the designs applet, we can go create a design. It's going to be fairly similar to Canva in how you use it. So you'll just click create design. We'll just go ahead and say social. And then when you load that, we'll give it a second here. KW also has a bunch of templates in here on the left-hand side, and they have it broken down by category. So we have listing templates, lead generation, business basics, and then they also have it for holidays. So you can select the month. It's broken down by the month. So you can select the month and go in and then pick which holiday you want, which template you want to use. We can go over to May and see those as well. And then you can just edit them, use them however you want, replace it with your logos, update them. And then you can use those on your social media as well. Alrighty, that is all we have for today. I'm going to go ahead and wrap up this recording and we'll get to some of these questions. I'm going to go through and make sure I've gotten to them. If y'all have more questions, please go ahead and drop them in the chat. If you don't have questions and you're not sticking around for questions, thank you for joining me. I hope this was helpful for you. And I hope you have a fantastic rest of your day and a fantastic weekend as well.